Winter Meetings December 2025. What is up, baseball fans? The Winter Meetings are literally starting this week in Orlando, and the hot stove is about to go nuclear. We're talking about one of the most loaded free agent classes in recent memory, and I'm about to tell you exactly where these superstars are landing. Forget the so. Called experts. I've got the real predictions that nobody else has the guts to make. So smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's dive into the chaos. Let's start with the number one free agent on the market, Kyle Tucker. This guy is the crown jewel of this entire class, and teams are absolutely desperate to sign him. Now, here is what you need to know. Tucker just finished his first season with the Cubs after getting traded from Houston. He had .266 with 22 homers and 73 RBIs. Not his best year because of injuries, but this dude is a four-time All-Star and a World Series champion. He is only 28 years old, which means he is about to get paid. Everyone thinks it is between the Dodgers, Yankees, and Blue Jays. But here's what is actually happening. The Dodgers already said they're not going 10-plus years on Tucker, they're out. The Yankees just won 94 games and they're being cheap as usual, but the Blue Jays, they're going insane right now. They just signed Dylan Cease for 7 years and $210 million. They're the defending American League champions, and get this, Tucker literally visited their facility in Florida this week. He flew down there, met with the team, and they rolled out the red carpet. Toronto is all in. They know they came one game away from winning the World Series, and they're not letting that window close. They're about to offer Tucker a 10-year deal worth $380 million. That is $38 million per year. Tucker signs with the Blue Jays at the Winter Meetings, and it is not even close. Prediction, Toronto Blue Jays, 10 years, $380 million. Next up, Kyle Schwarber. This man just had one of the most ridiculous power seasons in baseball history. 56 home runs, 132 RBIs. He finished second in the MVP voting. At 32 years old, he is still crushing baseballs like he is in his prime. The Phillies want him back desperately. They've said it publicly, but here's the problem. Schwarber wants 5 years guaranteed. That takes him to age 37. Teams are scared about that back end of the deal. The Reds are in the mix because Schwarber is from Ohio and he has said he'd love to play for his hometown team. The Mets need power. The Red Sox could use him. But here's my bold prediction. Schwarber's going home. The Cincinnati Reds are going to shock the baseball world and sign him to a 5-year deal worth $155 million. That is $31 million per year. I know the Reds don't usually spend like this, but they just made the playoffs for the first time in over a decade. They need a veteran leader, and Schwarber gets to finish his career playing in front of his family and friends. The Phillies will be devastated. But sometimes you have to let hometown dreams come true. Prediction, Cincinnati Reds, 5 years, $155 million, Pete Alonso, the polar bear, the Mets' home run king. This guy just hit 38 bombs and had 126 RBIs in 2025. He has been the face of the franchise since 2019. But here is the situation. Alonso opted out of his contract because he wants 7 years and big money. The problem, the Mets just signed Juan Soto for $660 million last year. Wait, that was 2024. Anyway, the Mets have spent a ton of money already, and their new president, David Stearns, is all about defense and run prevention. Alonso is a first baseman who doesn't play great defense. Everyone keeps saying the Mets will bring him back, but I don't think so. The Red Sox desperately need a middle-of-the-order bat. They just traded Rafael Devers so they have money to spend and a huge hole in their lineup. Here's what happens. The Boston Red Sox signed Pete Alonso to a 6-year deal worth $168 million. That is $28 million per year. Alonso gets to mash home runs at Fenway Park with that green monster in left field, and the Red Sox finally get the power hitter they've been missing. Mets fans will be furious. But Alonso is a Red Sox. Prediction, Boston Red Sox. 6 years, $168 million, Alex Bregman. This dude just had an incredible season with the Red Sox. He hit .273 with 18 homers and just won 14 games because of injuries. But before he got hurt, he was playing like an MVP. Now he is opted out and he is back on the market. The Red Sox want him back bad. They love his leadership, his defense, and his clutch hitting. But here's the problem. Bregman is 32 years old, going on 33. And he wants a long-term deal. The Tigers offered him 6 years and $171 million last year, and he turned it down. Now he is looking for even more money. The Cubs are interested. The Phillies might be in the mix, but I think there is a dark horse here. The New York Mets are going to swoop in and steal Bregman from the Red Sox. If the Mets lose Pete Alonso, they can move Mark Vientos to first base and plug Bregman in at third. He is exactly the kind of veteran leader they need, and Steve Cohen loves spending money on proven winners. The Mets offer Bregman 5 years and $175 million. That is $35 million per year. Bregman takes the money and the chance to play for a big market team with championship aspirations. Prediction, New York Mets, 5 years, $175 million, Bichette. The Blue Jays shortstop and former All-Star. This one is tricky because the Blue Jays want to keep him desperately. He has been with Toronto his entire career, and he is a fan favorite. But here is the thing. If the Blue Jays sign Kyle Tucker for $380 million, can they also pay Bichette? That is a lot of money tied up in two players. Bichette is going to want at least $300 million over 10 years. The Dodgers are always looking for star players. They need a second baseman after Mookie Betts moved back to right field full-time. Bichette could play second and give them an elite bat at the top of the lineup. Here is my spicy take. The Los Angeles Dodgers signed Bo Bichette to an 8-year deal worth $280 million. That is $35 million per year. The Blue Jays will try to match, but they can't afford both Tucker and Bichette. They choose Tucker, and Bichette heads to LA to team up with Shohei Ohtani, Mookie Betts, and Freddie Freeman. That Dodgers lineup becomes absolutely unstoppable. Prediction: Los Angeles Dodgers, 8 years, $280 million, Framber Valdez. The Astros is left. And an ace who has been one of the most consistent starters in baseball for the past 4 years. He has got that nasty sinker that generates ground balls, and he has been top 10 in Cy Young voting multiple times. The Giants desperately need pitching. They missed out on every big free agent last year. The Yankees need another starter. The Red Sox could use him, but I think there's a team that needs Valdez more than anyone. The Baltimore Orioles just had a terrible season after winning 101 games in 2023. Their pitching was awful. They need a frontline starter to pair with their young lineup, and Valdez has a connection to the Orioles front office. Baltimore offers Valdez 7 years and $196 million. That is $28 million per year. It is an overpay, but the Orioles are desperate to get back to the playoffs, and Valdez gives them the ace they've been missing. Prediction: Baltimore Orioles, 7 years, $196 million. All right, there you have it. My bold predictions for the winter meetings. Let me recap real quick. Kyle Tucker to the Blue Jays for $380 million. Kyle Schwarber to the Reds for $155 million. Pete Alonso to the Red Sox for $168 million. Alex Bregman to the Mets for $175 million. Bo Bichette to the Dodgers for $280 million, and Framber Valdez to the Orioles for $196 million. Now, I know some of you think I am absolutely insane, and you know what? Maybe I am. But that is what makes the winter meeting so incredible: chaos, drama, blockbuster deals, and teams going all in. Drop a comment and tell me which prediction is the most ridiculous. And when I am right about all of these, you better come back here and give me my credit. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of the madness. The winter meetings start this week, and it is about to get wild. See you in the next video. Let's go baseball!